Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. My name is Christopher Coombs, and in front of me we have
Gaurav Khazanchi, and we're here with a bit of a special surprise, aren't we?
Mr. Josh Vega.
Hey, what's happening, boys? It's been a minute.
You're our first official guest, man. How do you feel?
Well, when you gave me the message to come on, I'm not gonna lie, I had a bit of a tear running down the left side of my cheek.
He's excited. He's excited.
What happened was we were just sitting, and I got this email on sofarsogooodpodcast.gmail.com. Hit us up if you have any questions. And I realized this is Josh, and in the email it was Josh saying, "Guys, please let me be on your podcast." That's not what happened. We invited him on because he is an absolute legend. He's made a bit of a name for himself. But we'll get to that soon. Let's roll the intro. So far, so good.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So today we've got a pretty topical topic, don't we?
Yeah, it's somewhat topical. It's somewhat specific.
Yeah. All right. Well, first, before we get to the topic, I got a little something for you boys because I'm a big fan listening to the show, and you guys actually don't know what's going on.
He's
done
got
something
us.
special.
Yeah, I got you on the fly.
He's going into the
us by
bag.
surprise.
He's gone into the Nike bag.
Going back to the, I think, second episode.
Yeah.
Couple of beers, boys. Couple
Yeah,
of
the boys.
He's got. Which one is it?
Well, if you open that one, it's Placebo. It's Great Northern.
He's gotten us legitimate Heinekens. That's what
He's
Chris
on
gets.
track.
But
That
it's
is
probably hot.
awesome. What an absolute legend.
I think it's a bit
Josh.
hot.
Hey, it's warm. Should we drink it warm or should we keep it for later?
Oh, we can keep it for later.
Let's keep it for
So,
later.
Josh, do you want to tell everyone why you specifically got Heineken?
Well, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. This has actually been from my engagement party. So, if you look at the expiry date, it's probably like expired.
Yeah, well, beer doesn't expire, actually. I remember Googling this once.
Oh, really?
I had like expired. Well, it was past its best before. And they were like, look, it doesn't actually expire. It just might not taste as great. So I drank it.
Placebo, huh?
Placebo.
How does it taste like, though?
It tasted like Heineken.
Oh, well, then that's fine.
Yeah. It was Heineken, so you'd hope so.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so today we are starting part one of a part 3 series here with our boy Josh Vega.
Yeah.
And it's based on very topical things that have happened in the world and basically conspiracy theories relating to them. So today I'm going to be taking over and speaking about the 9/11 event in USA.
Quite a classic one, actually. It's all the conspiracies around that I've heard so far that are actually very interesting.
There is some crazy ones, and I'll go through that a bit later, and if you have some as well, you can chuck them in.
100%.
We know you're a wealth of knowledge. Isn't that right?
No, I try to be.
That's right. Well, to start us off, boys, I'm going to sort of lay down the facts of what was reported of what happened, and then we'll sort of take it from there. So basically, on September 11, 2001, 19 militants associated with the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 planes and basically carried out the suicide attacks in the United States, which, we all know about. There were 2 planes that went into the World Trade Center. A third one hit the Pentagon, and a 4th one crashed in a random field in Pennsylvania. So
I didn't even know about those ones, to be honest.
I heard about the Pentagon and the other one, the World Trade Center one, but I'd have known about the other ones.
Yeah, so basically what was reported, first up, I'll do it as a bit of a timeline so we know sort of what happened, and then we can gauge the conspiracy theories from there. So the first one, obviously on September 11, was 8:45 in the morning. It was a clear Tuesday morning. An American Airlines flight which was loaded with apparently 20,000 gallons of jet fuel.
Whoa.
Basically just crashed straight into the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
So that was like jet fuel that was being carried onto...
Yeah.
Like extra.
Yeah.
Or like the plane was filled with that much fuel.
Yeah, not too sure.
Like it's probably a solid mix, right?
But yeah, basically it had that much fuel as well as the passengers on board.
Yeah.
Basically, the impact on... So that was on the North Tower. The impact left like a massive burning hole somewhere between the 80th and 110th floor.
Yeah.
So somewhere between there.
How many floors are there?
Wouldn't have a clue, man.
Look, it was pretty close to the top, right?
I think if I look at it from the videos, there's probably like 4 off the top.
Yeah, look.
It
was pretty close to the top. Yeah.
And basically instantly killed, hundreds of people, and obviously the people on the higher levels were trapped as well.
Yeah.
So basically, as the evacuation of that tower and its twin got underway, that's sort of when the television, cameras started broadcasting. It was pretty quick. Everything happened pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And basically 18 minutes after the first plane hit, another plane appeared out of the sky, which basically turned sharply towards the World Trade Center and then hit the southern tower at about the 60th floor.
Oh, so
that was 18 minutes after the first one. Yeah,
jeez.
Remember that.
18 minutes after.
Just remember that.
Josh, how many
it's
minutes?
a good part in the timeline.
18 minutes after.
Wait, was it 18 minutes?
Wait, let me refer back to my notes.
Josh, I think it was 18 minutes.
I think it was 9 plus the other 9 minutes.
Yeah, look, he's not wrong. He's spot
on. So basically, the collision caused a massive explosion that basically sent debris all over the place, hit surrounding buildings, surrounding streets, and it became clear that America was under attack.
Yeah.
Because 2 planes, it's obviously something big's happening. So next from there, so basically as millions of people were watching this all sort of unfold, at approximately 9:45 was when... So 8:45 the first plane hit, 18 minutes later the second plane hit, and then at 9:45 a.m., a jet fuel Boeing 757
big plane
crashed into the Pentagon.
Did it successfully go into the Pentagon?
Wow. Reportedly so.
Oh.
All right. We'll get to that a bit later.
All right.
So I'm just laying down the facts here.
The official
reported facts.
Yeah, reported facts. Yeah.
Because I can't really say facts, can I?
Yeah.
Because you never know what's facts these days.
No, exactly.
Yeah. You never know anything.
Apart from you, because you think you're a wealth of knowledge.
You said that about me.
He's pretty knowledgeable, though.
No, what about
Both of you guys are.
Chris thought that Great Northern was Heineken, remember?
Oh, come on, man.
He'll never live that down.
So basically, after that, so with the whole Pentagon part, so 125 people and civilians... 125 military people and civilians combined were killed in the Pentagon attack, along with 64 people that were on board that flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so quite a lot of people just in that first hour of things happening.
That's shocking, man.
Then shortly after that Pentagon attack, so this is about 10 a.m. now.
Yeah.
So 15 minutes after the Pentagon attack, the south building of the Twin Towers collapsed, and then at 10:30 a.m. the north building collapsed.
Yep.
So that's all within the space of 2 hours.
Yeah.
Wowee, man.
And only 6 people in the World Trade Center towers at the time of the collapse actually survived. Almost 10,000 others were treated for injuries, a lot of them quite severe, obviously.
Yep. Yeah.
Then, meanwhile, a 4th plane, which was bound for California, which was United Airlines Flight 93, was hijacked 40 minutes after the tower collapsed, leaving... So it was leaving the airport in New Jersey. This plane had been delayed in taking off, and the passengers on board knew of the events that had happened in New York.
Yeah, so they're on the plane and they know what's going on.
Yeah. And so their plane got hijacked and they started making calls to the ground.
Yeah.
Straight away. And knowing that the aircraft obviously wasn't going to be returning to the airport because it had been hijacked, a group of passengers and flight attendants made a plan to fight back against the hijackers on this 4th flight.
Snap.
Yeah. One of the passengers, his name was Thomas Burnett Jr., He told his wife over the phone, quote, "I know we're all going to die. There's 3 of us who are going to do something about it. I love you, honey," end quote.
Wow, that's sad.
So these guys, it got hijacked, so they knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So they were going to do all they could to obviously make sure it doesn't crash into any main city or anything like that. Yeah. Which is pretty brave. So the passengers said to have fought off the 4 hijackers and apparently attacked them in the cockpit with a fire extinguisher. Oh. And then the plane basically flipped over and sped toward the ground, apparently faster than 500 miles per hour, straight at the ground, and it crashed into some rural field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. But that was at 10:10 a.m.
Oh, so that was before...
that was
in between the towers collapsing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right in between. All 44 people that were on that flight were killed. The intended target for this plane is unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next part of it comes up to sort of Osama bin Laden based things. So the attackers were Islamic terrorists from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And several others from some other Arab nations. Reportedly, the whole thing was financed by Al Qaeda, and allegedly it was a retaliation to America's support of Israel, who had involvement in the Persian Gulf War and continued military presence throughout the Middle East.
Well, wow.
Now, some of the terrorists had lived in the United States for more than a year.
Yeah.
And had actually taken flying lessons at commercial flight schools in America.
Oh, wow.
So
it was... Yeah.
Obviously, it was in plans for more than a year.
So did they know how they got on to the planes? The hijackers?
Nah.
Wow. That's shocking.
Yeah. Inside job.
Yeah. Well, isn't that one of the main...
there could be further information that we don't have.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Others are part of the... I think it was 19, wasn't it? That were a part of the whole thing. Yeah, part of... So, yeah, other of the 19 had apparently slipped into the country a few months prior to September 11 illegally. And yeah, those people acted as like the muscle in the operation. So like the hijacking and things like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so the 19 terrorists basically... Oh, so here we go. I mean, we don't know if this is facts again. It was kind of just what was reported.
Yeah.
But apparently the 19 terrorists involved smuggled box cutters and knives through security at 3 East Coast airports and boarded the 4 early morning flights. They chose them because they were loaded with fuel because they were doing long, apparently, transcontinental journeys.
Oh, okay. So they deliberately chose those big planes. Yeah.
Because they had more fuel, and then obviously more fuel, more explosion.
Yeah.
So soon after takeoff, the terrorists commandeered the 4 planes and basically took control, and did what they did with the flights.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from there is the American response, which started at 7 p.m. where George Bush, he was in Florida at the time of the attacks, and he'd spent the day basically moved around the country, in disguise.
Yeah.
So that, because they were afraid that it was an attack on
the president.
As well. He then returned to the White House. At 9 p.m., he delivered a television address from the Oval Office declaring basically, quote, "Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve," end quote. Yeah. Very short, actually. It was just part of it.
Yeah.
So basically, in reference to the eventual U.S. military response, he declared, quote, We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbour them, end quote. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, from all the reported facts, a total of 2,996 people were killed in the 9/11 attacks, including the 19 terrorist hijackers aboard the 4 different planes, 343 firefighters and paramedics, 23 New York City police officers, and 37 Port Authority police officers who were trying to evacuate the buildings and save the office workers who were trapped on higher floors and things like that.
Yeah.
And this event obviously triggered major US initiatives to combat terrorism.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that was basically an overview of what was reported of what happened.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty... It sounds legit. Like, when you read that, you'll be like, yeah, that's what happened.
I don't believe it.
And that's why I've got our man here, Josh Vega, because he knows things.
No, I don't know.
He's hiding things.
No,
so these theories that you're about to, like, talk about now, do you believe them?
Well, I want to see what you guys think first.
Yeah, fair.
It's going to be more of a discussion platform here.
Yeah, truth.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of these conspiracy theories we're going to talk about are basically all whether it was an inside job or whether it could have possibly been an inside job, all different sort of things relating to that.
Yeah. So what's the main conspiracy surrounding it? Like, what are people saying?
So one of the first ones I saw was relating to traders in the stock market. So apparently right before the 9/11 attacks, some fishy business was happening within the stock market and insurance firms as well.
Yeah.
Apparently an extraordinary amount of money was placed on United Airlines and American Airlines stocks right before the attacks were going to happen and during the attacks as well. Many speculate that traders were sort of tipped off on the attacks and profited from the whole tragedy in America, which is pretty sad.
So they're saying it's like a full financial conspiracy.
Yeah, money equals power kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, or, I don't know, whoever was actually behind it was taking a cut, possibly. But yeah, basically they launched a massive investigation in which, of course, they saw Osama bin Laden as the major suspect, but who knows how true that is.
Yeah.
After receiving information from, well, at least one Wall Street firm. So, I don't know about this one.
Yeah. The whole financial thing? Like, you think it's just it's not enough to do something so tragic?
Too generic.
It seems
like
you wouldn't do something that major to make some money on the stock market.
Yeah, it just seems like that's way too much just to make money on the stock market. Exactly.
Yeah, but, some people care about money more than people.
But then that would just be so much to orchestrate just for, like, a stock market thing.
Yeah, but when it comes to that stuff too, I feel like they know people within to control that. So, like, it's a deeper conspiracy theory onto the actual 9/11.
Yeah, true. I hear that. And apparently they did get information from, well, it says at least one Wall Street firm. So I'm sure there was a few more that gave information because they didn't want to get busted.
So the Wall Street firms were like, yeah, look, there was a lot of money put on this to go down.
Well, we don't know what information it was, but they gave information.
Well.
There's apparently like a major investigation.
Well, did they find anything?
Well,
or that's what they got out of it?
Well, they don't want to release... They're not going to release that information.
Yeah, they would not release it.
You know what I mean? They're just saying that they did get a report from at least one firm.
That's interesting. That's the first time I've heard that one.
Yeah, same here, actually. I don't think I've heard anything about the stock market at all.
Yeah. I never thought that tied in, ever. Apart from, like, the oil stuff or, oil, petroleum, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got a major part to do with the stock markets, but that's the main thing I heard about.
But it does seem a bit fishy that right before and during the attacks that specifically United Airlines and American Airlines had massive stock movements. Like just those airlines compared to the others.
Some people are really good at researching that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or coincidence. Straight up coincidence.
Yeah, it could be. Another one was that some people think that the Air Defence Force was told to stand down and not actually fight back.
I heard about
Yeah, so basically...
Wait, as in like as a protective thing to be like...
No, like just not to defend it.
Really?
Yeah, that's... Well, I heard that it... Oh, maybe not heard, read. Is that... Yeah, they said for the military not to get involved or anything like that. So, they already knew prior to the incident happening.
So they were just like, let it happen. Like,
Yeah.
let it go through.
Well, the thing is, like... So, what it says here is, like, in the event that an aeroplane is hijacked, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, which is NORAD in acronym.
Yeah.
Yep.
So NORAD, they're basically prepared to send out fighter jets, which can shoot down other aircrafts.
Yeah.
And then on 9/11, NORAD generals said they learned of the hijackings in time to scramble fighter jets, but no, they didn't. They were never in the air. They never shot anything down. So some skeptics believe that NORAD were told to stand down because they were just not present in the attacks, or their lack of presence.
But then what's their reasoning for this conspiracy? Like, why would they be told to stand down?
Well, think about it. Well, I don't know why, but if you look at the first attack, which was at 8:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the Pentagon attack was...
10 something.
What time was the Pentagon attack? 9:45. That's
Yeah.
an hour later.
Okay.
And this team is ready to get fighter jets in the air straight away.
Yeah,
That's an
exactly.
hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then what are they supposed to do? Like, it's... What if there was a conflict of, like, if they shoot down the planes, they're going to shoot down, civilians?
Oh, yeah, no, in that regard, I wouldn't know, but with what Chris is saying, that they would get up straight away and at least, try to do something, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you would have to get up there and do something straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially when it's the Twin Towers, dude.
Yeah, and
Biggest towers in the world.
And whether they do, like, I don't know if this is, again, I guess, ethics or morals, whether they do blow up the plane before it hits, like...
The tower, yeah.
They probably end the lives of little than many.
Yeah,
It's probably the decision they make.
But just like, so pretty much just, there was nothing done. There was just no...
Well, it says lack of presence, so, I mean,
Could have been something, but... Yeah.
I reckon it was...
Like, you reckon it could have been more? So you reckon it was inside, Josh?
Oh, bad.
But
I'm like, I used to go 50-50, and then I leaned more towards it not being, like an actual planned job, and like I was back and forth. But then, I don't know, I came across some sort of documentary. You get into YouTube and you get into the rabbit hole.
You get one of those YouTube holes.
Yeah, and it investigated people that built the actual Twin Towers and everything, and how they build the structure based on what it's meant to, or how it's meant to be supporting everyone.
Yeah.
And, the way that it collapsed, there was times where it would have like explosions or something when it collapsed down.
Yeah.
Whereas they said that they built the structure so that once it gets hit, it would never collapse down. Just the top. It's like when you play Jenga. If you just move away the top, just the top part falls or something. Or if you get the pieces at the bottom, the whole thing collapses from the bottom.
Yeah.
But they hit it from the top.
And then the whole thing down.
Yeah, crashed down.
Well, that's what I heard as well. Like, people, they were like, how did the whole thing... It collapsed as if it was there was an implosion.
Yeah.
Like, there was a controlled implosion. That's what I've heard people say. Like, it had to be inside because of that thing.
Exactly.
You know what? That leads me perfectly into the next point.
That's what we do, man. Wealth of knowledge.
Oh, man. That's it, boys. Well played. So the World Trade Center collapse appeared similar to a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
Which is what you were getting at there.
It does. It looks like it when you watch it. But then, I'm no engineer, so I would never clue.
Yeah.
Oh, neither am I.
I know what a controlled demolition looks like. Like, I've seen it before, but I don't know how. It's like the classic line you see everywhere: jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams.
Yep.
Jet fuel.
I've never seen that classic line.
No, surely, because they were like, the whole thing was because the planes crashed in and the fuel was burning, the steel beams melted, and that's why the whole tower's collapsed. But then jet fuel.
Still never heard that saying.
Can't melt steel. Surely it popped up in your ear.
Yeah, no, but no, I know what you're trying to say with that one.
Well, that's what they say. They say jet fuel. It became like a meme.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
But I just saw when
meme.
the video, like, someone had an angle when they saw it getting hit, and you could just see it start to collapse down from every level.
Yeah.
Like it was implosion.
You can see it happening, yeah.
Look,
very true.
We get a bunch of Jenga blocks right now.
We'll test it.
You take the bottom ones off, and then the whole thing will fall down. You just do it from near the top, like the third row or something. If that thing falls, the rest is still standing.
Unless you're drunk and you just end up knocking it over.
That's true.
And I'm sure that's how the civil engineers have to pass their test.
Just play Jenga.
Practice on Jenga.
No, but
So true.
what about what would the reason be to want the tower to collapse? Like, was the explosion not enough?
Isn't the I don't know. Wasn't the Twin Towers something?
Well, there was that many people still in the tower because you can't evacuate everyone straight away. So there was that many people still in the tower that maybe if it didn't actually collapse, all those people would have got out.
So they didn't want people to get out?
Well, obviously not. That's the point of a terrorist attack, because you kill as many people as possible.
Yeah, but like it's terror in general. Just, cause terror by just doing something, bad. Like, the explosion is big enough, just blowing up such a recognised monument.
Yeah, and you know what? Some witnesses recounted hearing explosions inside the building as they attempted to escape.
Really?
And many architects and scientists maintain that a plane's fuel cannot produce enough heat to melt the steel frames of the two buildings that collapsed.
Jet fuel can't melt two beams.
Boom.
And he says he's never heard it. He just said it in a more professional way. That's
But it's not like a common phrase that you hear.
No, you hear it everywhere. You guys have been living in the cave.
Man, it's been a good cave. And then moving on to the Pentagon crash. So basically, that's the most puzzling event of the day from what a lot of people have recalled.
Yeah.
So a lot of theorists maintain that the impact holes that were in the Pentagon were way smaller than what a commercial American's airline plane actually is. They also question why the plane was not shot down prior to the impact, as well as why the plane impacted a section of the Pentagon that was vacant due to renovations. You know what I mean?
But then why would they... Dude, their Pentagon is their whole security thing. So, surely they wouldn't deliberately...
But why was it not shot down? It happened an hour after the first one.
So wait, actually, what's your thought? Do you guys think it's inside job?
I don't know, man. This is... Yeah.
Man.
It's weird.
I don't know.
You think it is, right?
Oh, for sure.
But why? Why was it happening? The classic one I always hear is they made an excuse to invade.
Iraq.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why, but I don't know. I just find it.
So let's say Let's say it came out that it was an inside job after all this stuff. What do you guys reckon would be the reason that they did it?
Well, that sounds the most plausible. A reason to invade.
What?
Iraq.
To invade
Was it Iraq or Iran?
Iraq.
Iraq.
Because Saddam Hussein was involved with that and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I feel like America just wants to be known all the time.
Look.
That's true.
That's just extreme lengths. I don't know.
Yeah, but like when you have power, they don't really care. If you're, it's just like, say for instance, you're the richest man in the world and you've got your family. That's the closest people you need. You kind of don't care about anyone else. And if you don't have a heart, man, they'll just slaughter anything and anyone.
Yeah, true story.
And sometimes the people at the top are those kinds of personalities.
Well, yeah. See, I don't know. I'll never know, but...
No one will never know, I don't think.
I'm still a bit skeptical that... Like, it does look very dodgy when you put out all these facts and these conspiracies people have talked about. But, I don't know, it doesn't seem... Like, it's a lose-lose situation. Like, they're destroying their own city, which they themselves are going to have to rebuild.
Yeah, but don't you get, like, publicity? I'm sure they get money from all this, or, like, for something.
Publicity,
the stocks as well.
Yeah.
Like you said, but I don't know. Yeah. I just think that...
Other countries reporting on it in the news and stuff as well.
Yeah, there you go. See, makes them known.
But yeah, look, the most plausible one that I could agree with, I don't know if I do, but the most plausible one I think is still to invade Iraq for their oil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's true.
That's where all the oils meme came from.
So, what's your ratio? Are you like 60-40? And which way is the 60?
You can pick.
Oh, come on! No, you gotta. You.
Nah, he's going. He's going 60 inside.
I'll go 55-45.
Ooh,
55 inside, yeah.
Inside,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
55 inside.
What about you?
I'm 50-50, man.
50-50.
No.
I'm still on the fence.
There has to
now.
be. All right. So you're obviously vertical. Like that has to lean one
I'm
way.
still
or
on the
another.
fence. That's why I'm running through this to see what you guys think. Maybe you can persuade me.
I think Josh is like 99-1.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just think that it just seems to like. Look, how often do you hear for? I mean, when that happened, I was in grade 6.
Yeah.
So I was like 12.
Yeah. Wait. Oh yeah. Josh is older than us.
Damn, boy.
I was like, no, we were in grade 1.
Yeah, so I was in grade
Yeah.
6, so that was the only time I ever heard of anything with the plane stuff happening. And then, obviously it doesn't happen now ever since then. But even before that, there was nothing that was... I don't know, I guess I just expect the worst in people, so I feel like, yeah.
It's the best way to live, man.
I disagree with that. But look, it's a weird one.
But I'll tell you another thing that was reported, that there was heaps of in-flight calls made from cell phones in all the hijacked planes to like family on the ground and people on the ground. But a lot of scientists and skeptics have determined that like a lot of these calls were not possible because of the altitude that they were actually flying at. There's no way they could have received reception.
So who was making the calls?
Like,
they're
people
probably
on
fake.
board.
Oh.
So then why?
Well, I mean, they could be fake, that's what I mean.
Oh, right.
Oh, as in they're trying to say... But what would the point of that be?
I don't know.
So they're just saying all these calls were made, but it couldn't have been possible.
It's just like another one of those things that it's hard to explain.
It's like marketing, man. They're just marketing it. Look, if you market something good enough, look at Apple. They just, everyone will just buy their things just because of the way it's marketed.
Yeah.
All they have to do is put out the word, make sure more people believe it.
Yeah. So they're just saying there was just dodge on dodge on dodge.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The next one, it's not really relevant at all, but apparently a lot of the Jewish community in America knew that it was going to happen because 4,000 Jewish employees took the day off work on September 11, 2001. Some of the first people to record the attacks on their cameras were Jewish, and many became suspicious and put the religious group on the radar as suspects as soon as the attack started.
Wow. Wowee.
But then again, that doesn't relate to what's reported of what actually happened and who was behind it.
Well, I think what that's trying to say is that there was more than, there could have been more than one large group. Because I think they're just saying it can't be
an alliance.
That. Yeah.
Whoa.
Could have been an alliance.
That's the first time I've heard that as well, actually.
Yeah, same for me.
Because that's a pretty big coincidence.
Wow, I'm a wealth of knowledge.
He says as he reads his notes. So yeah, that's an interesting one, actually. But how many people altogether took the day off?
They said approximately 4,000 Jewish employees.
But non-Jewish.
Don't know.
Wait, is that employees
Unreported.
in those two buildings?
Unreported.
Well, what is it? September 9/11.
September
11th.
They do
Is that the other way around?
dates other way around. Yeah.
Is that a holiday for Jewish community or something? Is that
Wow.
you can research that too.
Let's have a Google.
Yeah, let's have another OK Google.
Let's have a quick look. All right, I've done a quick research, and apparently no public holidays on September 11 for Jewish people.
All right.
So who knows?
Dodgy. Very interesting.
We'll just add that to the no idea pile.
Yeah.
Moving on. So okay, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Conspiracy?
Well, just yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, these boys are on the edge of their seats. Here we go. So during the weeks following the attacks, the plane's black boxes were one of the most important items of the investigation.
Yeah.
Obviously. They were the only evidence into what actually happened in the planes. 3 of the 4 black boxes were found, and only one of them was in good enough condition to actually hear what happened.
No way.
Okay.
Surely not. Aren't they like super protected? There's like
It should be.
they're like encapsulated in. It's like a
Man,
safe.
this is 9/11. There's no rules here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's just like the movies. They swap out things and stuff.
Yeah.
So that one tape that was good enough to hear, it wasn't initially released. It was only shared with the families of the victims in 2002. So not till the next year.
Yeah.
And then it was released after that.
Okay.
So a lot of skeptics believe that it was not disclosed information for who knows what reason.
As in, like, it could have all been fabricated?
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, first of all, they only found 3. One was only good enough to hear, and then they only released it after they showed the families and more like, about a year later. So, I mean,
But that
seems a bit dodge.
Yeah, that's real dodge.
Nah, look, I don't know. I feel like it's not super dodge. A year is not too long after an incident. Because that's some pretty hectic stuff to
But
release.
they found the other 2 black boxes.
Yeah, look, it's dodge.
They're so secure that, and it's not like it crashed in the ocean and you couldn't find it. Like they found them, they should be able to hear what's in them.
But if they got super destroyed, like that's what as far as my knowledge goes, they are very hard to destroy.
He must be right. He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, but no, look, I'm just saying it's because they did all the planes were destroyed. So
yeah,
look, I don't know, but yeah, it's a bit of a coincidence as well that
it's just unanswerable, that one. It's unanswerable. Moving on from that one, we've got apparently the Osama bin Laden tapes could possibly be fake.
I heard that one as
what
well.
He made after. So initially, Osama bin Laden actually denied any involvement with the attacks whatsoever, and then soon after, numerous tapes were came out. He actually sort of changed his mind and then ended up taking full responsibility, which is really weird because normally if something happens and the terrorists are involved, they want the responsibility because they want to be known.
Yeah.
They want to be responsible for it, etc.
There's a message on it.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, but he denied it straight away, and then he quickly ended up taking full responsibility, which is super weird.
That's a bit like what
super weird for a terrorist to do.
It's what ISIS does. They take responsibility for anything.
Yeah, straight away. Even if it wasn't them, they take it.
Yeah.
100%. So many skeptics believe that Osama bin Laden was targeted because of his stake in the stock market.
Ah, there we come back to it.
The relation.
Dude, wasn't Osama bin Laden actually in the CIA?
What? I haven't heard this.
I heard that he was actually he used to be in the CIA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Is that what it's called, the CIA?
Yeah, the
Central
CIA,
Intelligence of America?
No,
Yeah, the
Central
CIA, yeah.
Intelligence Agency, isn't it?
Central Intelligence Agency?
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. But they're CIA in America.
It's the CIA. Wait, can we double check that?
Well, we are not quite sure.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure. I heard something about
if you think you know, drop it in the comments.
there's
let us
some
know.
affiliation. I've forgotten.
But basically, yeah. So they think he was targeted because of his stake in the stock market, as well as because President Bush's personal business ventures in the Middle East. I'm not really sure how that relates. But
So I think that would tie into wanting to invade the
Iraq
Middle
again.
East. Yeah.
well,
Oh.
yeah, because George Bush had, George W. Bush had personal business ventures in the Middle East.
He's always been a dodgy guy, that guy.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Next one is Gaurav, you're gonna love this one.
If-
Aluminium planes can't penetrate steel structure of the World Trade Center.
See? He kept saying he has never heard that before.
Well,
No, he's just finding different variations of the same phrase.
but it's
man.
not like a common phrase.
It 100% is.
I mean, you wouldn't
Not
say
for
that
me.
phrase like you'd say, "So far, so good."
touche. Or you wouldn't say it like you'd be saying, my leg.
Yeah.
No, but it's not like people are going around saying it. It's just ever since,
not a saying.
No, it's ever since this happened. People have been like, jet fuel can't match 2 beams. It's exact same word. They've just put it in like.
Well, apparently it's a factual fact. So
factual fact, Josh.
Basically, yeah. Leading on from that in a bit more detail, just so Gaurav can get his point across.
Jet fuel can't match 2 beams.
So commercial airplanes frames are constructed with very light aluminium material in order to make it fly easier. Okay?
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes, boss.
Okay. Theorists maintain there is no possible way an airplane can do as much damage to the Twin Towers as it did. They believe that missiles or explosives were used to ensure the buildings collapsed.
I believe that.
Well, Josh was a believer from the start of these theories.
Oh, he's an absolute believer.
Look, it's pretty plausible.
I think you guys have to do the 1, 2, 3 and then pick whether you believe it or not.
Hey,
there'll all be different answers.
Well, you can see if whether. All right, I believe it.
Let's do a 3, 2, 1, and we say if we believe it or not.
So what are you guys gonna say? Like yes or no?
Yes or no. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
He wants a bit of time.
He doesn't. He wants to think about it.
Let me think here, boys.
No, we gotta go.
I think you gotta do it off instinct.
Yeah, you gotta go.
So what do we say if it's
yes, you just
whichever
say
one?
yes or no. Ready?
Which is yes, you believe it. No, you don't.
Believe it's inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't put me on the spot.
I know.
Like
That's why
boys.
that's gonna ruin your 50-50 to left or right.
Here we go. 3,
Wait.
2.
You can't. I'm not ready.
Is there any other facts that you got going on?
I'm not ready.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
should we save it for the end?
Yeah, save it for the end.
Okay.
I have to save it for the end then.
Nah, that pretty much sums it up. So this is a good time to do it.
So you got to make a decision now.
You've got to listen to your gut. You can't take time to think about this.
It's pretty much like a pros and cons list in your head, quickly, and then just
yeah.
All right, fine. Who's you? Count us in, Josh.
Go, Josh.
You guys already got it?
Yeah. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
50-50.
Get the hell out! I was gonna do the same thing.
Look, you didn't do it. I knew you believed it. I knew you were a believer.
You believe it too.
Just like I said, off my gut, top of my head, 50-50.
Nah, surely not.
No, you were 55-45 just 2
Yeah,
seconds.
Yeah, that was before, but then after discussing a bit more, I'm like, yeah, look, 50-50.
Nah, surely you've leaned to one side.
Okay.
It's just like if you're gonna vote, you'd pick something. Like as in, when you vote for the government here.
I'll go, okay,
Unless
Yeah,
you donkey
but you always vote for like the Greens, man, just because you don't have to worry about it.
Nah, this time I voted for transport because I'm all about that public
Get
transport.
out of here.
Look, less traffic on the trains. Sorry, less traffic on the roads, more efficient trains. That's what you want. But otherwise, the Greens.
Okay.
They're all about environmental friendliness.
Alright, fair enough.
Alright, that's enough political talk for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
that's all I know as well. That's as far as my knowledge goes. Okay, look, if I had to lean towards one,
Yeah.
I'll stick with my 55-45.
And which was the 55?
Inside. It's inside.
Yeah, 55
Yeah.
inside.
He just admitted it. We got him.
Yeah.
This is a conspiracy
That's
theory, alright?
That's
Build it
unanimous.
up, yeah.
That's unanimous.
Yeah.
Yes. And,
Look, I'm just saying, it's very dodgy, all these things that are adding up. What's getting me the most is the whole building collapsing,
Yep. Same.
the dodginess of Osama bin Laden, all of that. The reasons seem legitimate. There's some legitimate seeming reasons.
But I think that leads to the other conspiracies as well.
Oh, yeah, there's
so many conspiracies
Yeah,
we
so
could talk
many.
for the next 10 days about it.
That's true.
You know
There's
what I'm
so
saying?
many.
For me, the biggest ones are the towers collapsing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That there was no action from... There was no RAD, I
From
think.
military or...
Not enough presence, you were saying.
Yeah,
Yep.
from NORAD. And then the Pentagon one as well. Because apparently the holes just weren't the size of what the plane...
And it only hit
so-
the renovating area where no one was in.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was no, apart from the
But
passengers
then again,
on the
there
plane.
was photos of it, so... Yeah, it's a tough
Nah,
one.
I still believe it. You just gotta go with the gut. Pick one or the other. It's just
Oh.
like when Morpheus says you take the blue pill or the red pill.
Yeah.
You pick one.
Chris hasn't seen The Matrix. He hasn't seen any good movies.
No, tell you what.
Did I ruin it?
He's
Oh,
got no idea what you're talking about. He doesn't even... I guarantee he doesn't remember what name you said.
Yeah.
What?
Red pill or blue pill?
The red pill is so far. The blue pill is so good.
Oh!
Hey! Nah, if I had the choice, man, I'll go with the Great Northern.
Great Northern? Yeah, alright, fair enough. Not Heineken, even though that's what he confidently guessed.
No, but I do have to end this segment on a last sentence here, boys.
Okay.
So we are now about 17 years after the attack.
Yeah.
We may never know the entire story of what happened, but the people who tragically lost their lives will always be remembered.
That's very true. That's very true.
So, Josh Vega, thank you very much for joining us here on part 1 of part 3 for our crazy conspiracy theory events in the world.
Yeah, maybe in the next one we'll drink these Heinekens. Or should we save it since it's come from such a special occasion?
Oh, it's so special.
I don't know. You guys are the special people, so you should drink
it. Alright, it's done then. We'll drink it in the next episode.
But thanks for having me, guys.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure.
Alright, so guys, once again, thanks for listening to the So Far So Good podcast.
Any questions, comments, please email us at sofarsogoodpodcast.gmail.com. Sorry, at gmail.com. Or jump on our website.
It's in the link somewhere.
Yeah, you can jump on sofarsogood.podbean.com. We've got our Instagram, So Far So Good Podcast. All of the above. Please talk to us, communicate with us, interact. We're real people.
And we'll see you next time.
Later.